Yes.
Well, Christmas in the royal household might look different this year, with King Charles opting for a more relaxed holiday season. During Queen Elizabeth's long reign, the extended family almost always gathered to celebrate, but old traditions could be reset with the new monarch.
The royal household is now home to a blended family. So what does that mean for the King and Queen Consort's children? And could we see different customs embraced as they bring their families together?
Oh, so many questions. Royal commentator Angela Mollard joins us live to tell us more. Good to see you again.
Hi.
I mean, Queen Elizabeth had high expectations when it came to Christmas traditions. Do you think Charles will continue them, or do you think he will change it up a bit?
I think he'll definitely change it up a bit. For instance, Camilla used to spend Christmas morning with the Queen. She'd go to church, they'd have the big family lunch. She'd then sit there for the Queen's speech at 3 o'clock, and then she'd get in the car from Sandringham and drive that 2.5-hour journey to London to be with her own children, Tom Parker Bowles and Laura Lopes. So she would make that huge journey. It'd be interesting to see whether the children now spend, her children spend Christmas with Prince William and Kate. Will they take the opportunity, perhaps Kate and William, to go and spend the Christmas with the Middletons? Because, of course, Kate's sister Pippa now has 3 children of her own. Will we see Prince Andrew there, for instance? Will we see Prince Anne? They always came because they had that obligation to their mother, but will they still have that obligation to the new king?
These are normal family questions at Christmas. I'm going to go and see the mother-in-law there, and then I'm going to go and see all over the place.
You have on and off years.
Yes,
too.
exactly.
It might be an on Middleton year this year.
Well, they've done it once before, so that could possibly do it again.
Mind you, with 950 rooms at Buckingham Palace, they could probably all get together for the weekend. So we're looking at sort of a stripped-back Christmas, would you say?
Look, I think we will see one over time. I'm really curious to see if Prince Andrew will go there. Obviously, Charles has completely stripped Andrew of any royal engagements, so he has no sort of seniority in the family anymore. We also know that the King Charles, I can still not get used to saying king. Yeah, right. He prefers everything to be smaller, slimmed down. I think the meal, he of course has looked after the Sandringham Estate gardens since 2017, so I think the meal will be different. It'll be more plant-based. We know he likes that sort of food, so yeah, it'll be interesting. And look, I think they will go to church though. We know those pictures on Christmas morning outside the church at Sandringham are kind of like fixed in our memory.
100%. Charles will give his first Christmas address this year, which would have been the Queen's 70th speech. Wow, that's just amazing, isn't it? Interesting to see how he changes this up, if at all.
I think so, because he was only 4 when his mother first gave that speech. I wouldn't be surprised if we see it in a more natural setting. Of course, the Queen always gave that speech on the desk with which photos were in the frame this year. You know, who would be in favour? People were trying to read into it. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Charles in a garden giving the speech. We know he loves a more environmental message, and I think it'll be interesting to see what he says. I mean, the Queen became more open as the years passed, but I think it'll be interesting to see how the King reflects.
And you can avoid all that photo sort of stuff. You know, if you do it out there, no photos, you can just
a flower pot.
Yes.
But you and I both know they can never get the lighting right in the garden.
No, that's
never.
True.
We would never do photos in the garden. More details have been released about this satirical TV musical focusing on Prince Andrew. What do we know at this point?
Oh no, can you imagine Prince Andrew the musical? Harry Enfield is involved, which, you know, as we know, he's an incredible comic. He's playing Tony Blair, and there's a series of songs. Of course, this focuses on that terrible debacle of a Newsnight interview with Emily Maitness. It's got many songs. It's going to be a 1-hour special. I mean, imagine being a royal and having a musical, sending up some of your worst comments about, you know, being at Pizza Express, the sweating incident. How they deal with this will be possibly very amusing.
One thing I can say for certain, this would be the only royal musical that you would ever get Larry to attend.
That's right.
I can say that with 100% accuracy.
Let's hope it comes down.
Because the last one was Book of Mormon, so it's got a bit of that about it.
Moving away from the UK, there's some exciting news about Prince Mary of Denmark. What's the exciting news?
So, Princess Mary and her entire family are coming to Australia this year for Christmas. It's 5 years since the family has been here. And of course, the children are so much older now. I was staggered to learn that Prince Christian is actually 17 now, so they're not little tots. She was here earlier this year for a very secret, quiet visit. She spent time in Melbourne with her friend Amber Petty, but this will be the first official visit. I think it's probably quite carefully planned. Of course, the family's fallen out over in Denmark, you know, the brother and the being disenfranchised with the titles. So good timing on her part, I think. Nice little glass of wine in Tasmania rather than all that family business.
See, it's a Donaldson on year.
Yes,
For the
exactly. That's right.
That's all she has to say, and we all know what that means.
Once every decade.
Yeah.
Angela, lovely to see you.
Thanks
So much for that.